100 years ago, this week, as a matter of fact, a college football player from a little town called Wheaton, Illinois, became even more famous than Babe Ruth. Red Grange scored 6 touchdowns, including 4 in the first 12 minutes, to lead the Illini past previously undefeated Michigan, a feat still considered the most unforgettable single-day performance by any athlete. Grange also sparked the original debate as to whether college athletes should be compensated for their name, image, or likeness. Illinois is set to host Michigan this Saturday in Memorial Stadium's rededication game, celebrating the 100th anniversary of that historic event. And a new book is out sharing the story. It's called The Golden Age of Red, a novel of Red Grange, the Galloping Ghost. Author Doug Villhard joins us right now. Good morning. Good to have you.
Oh, I'm excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
Well, first off, talk about the book to begin with. We were chatting a little bit. It's historical fiction. So explain to me exactly what that is. How much of it is based on fact? How much is not?
Yeah, everything that happens to Red in the book is based on fact.
Okay.
But I think historical fiction is a more fun way to tell the story. It's kind of you're reading a book, but it's kind of like watching the movie, if you will.
Right.
And we just really want the next generation to know how great Red Grange was.
Talking about this game, it's the 100th anniversary, and how much that game catapulted him into legendary status. But you look back at 1924, it's not like today. It's not the age of the internet where things travel instantaneously and people know about what a guy is doing. How long did it take between that game for the legend of him to really grow as big as it did?
That's a great question, because there was no television, and radio was just getting started. But the book's called The Golden Age of Red, and it was also the golden age of sports, too, and the sports media. So like in Chicago, there were like 40 daily newspapers. So the next morning, the heralds of Red Grange went across the country. So it just took one morning.
Wow. So it's hard, too, to think, when you talk about he became bigger than Babe Ruth, that almost seems impossible, given, this football, at least professional football to that point, but it was a baseball country. Babe Ruth was the guy. To think that a college football player would surpass him, but indeed, he did.
Honestly, football is a little bit boring. The scores were like 3-6, right? You're very lucky to get a touchdown. And then he catches the ball on the opening kickoff, 95 yards for a touchdown. And they did again and again and again. And back then, they would kick off right back to you. Again, they valued field position more than anything. So when people are reading about a kid scoring 4 touchdowns in 12 minutes, that just never happened back then. 2 more in the second half, and he had 2 interceptions, too. Remember, he played both sides of the ball. So it just really elevated him, into the sports fame, if you will.
He was a guy who never really had any intentions of making a living in sports whatsoever. He wanted to be done with football after college. What transpired in his later college years that made him change his mind?
Yeah, so what drew me to the story was I love Red. Amazing person, amazing athlete. But he also had something else, the first sports agent of all time, C.C. Pyle. So it was actually C.C. Pyle who said, Red, you own this fame, not the college. In fact, Red paid tuition to play. There were no athletic scholarships at the time. So it really started the original debate of name, image, likeness, if you will, at the time.
He wanted to go into business, and when you look at some of the decisions he made early on in his professional career with the Bears, brilliant business decisions. I don't know how many of these decisions were his and the agent, but stuff like, first of all, the amount he negotiated per game, and then a piece of the ticket revenue.
That's right. So George Halas was paying players like $50 a game, and he said, Red, I'll pay you $500. And the agent said, that's a place to start, but how about this? Half the gate. Listen, the Bears were only drawing like 3,000 fans. Red's drawing 60,000 fans. Yeah. So that was the deal. Why don't we split it? And he made more money, Red did, in his game in New York than Babe Ruth made that entire year. And Babe Ruth was there to watch it.
Wasn't it one of the games I read? I think it was the equivalent of they played. Is this the game in New York when he played the Giants? It was the equivalent of the $425,000 in today's money for one game, which was 27,000 or something like that.
Yeah, for one game. And the Giants players were like, I don't understand why this kid is getting paid so much, and they did everything they could to knock him out of the game too. So it's like one thing to make that money. It's another thing to like hold on for your life against these monsters.
That sounds kind of an interesting parallel when you say he was kind of a guy coming out of college that was a little bit targeted. Different sport, obviously, but kind of saw that with Caitlin Clark at the beginning of the WNBA season.
I think that's the best analogy. Famous in college, and then look what she's done for the WNBA. Red Grange exactly the same way. Famous in college, and then he put the NFL on the map, and that's why he's in the Hall of Fame. Not so much for being an NFL player, but for popularizing the game.
Yeah. And you brought a replica helmet. This is what they wore.
Yeah, these are the types
seems very
of helmets.
protective.
Yeah, you know what? It had nothing to do with your head, because they considered your head was strong. Had to do with not getting your ears pulled off. Yeah, that was the major thing about this design.
Yeah, and Illinois is wearing the throwback uniforms. They had actual helmets that are made to look exactly like this. These are their throwback uniforms.
Yeah, you can see how the helmet's painted to look like this leather helmet. And that's going to be this Saturday. I'm going to be there. It's going to be an amazing day, great celebration of Illinois and all that is football.
The book is The Golden Age of Red, a novel of Red Grange, the Galloping Ghost. For more, check out Doug's website and follow him on social media. Doug, thanks so much. Enjoy the game this weekend.
All right. I can't wait. Go Illinois.
All right.